Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another list 10 listing. This time it's not a top 10, it's just 10 movies that I think should be on 4K, that would really benefit from a 4K upgrade, and a couple of these would even be fantastic if it got a Blu-ray release here in the UK. I think one of them's got a Blu-ray release in Europe but not here in the UK, but yeah, these ones I think really should be on 4K, and there's at least two of these that is criminal that are not in 4K, really, to be honest. So I'm going to start with one of those, and that is the film with Robbie Coltrane and Johnny Depp in From Hell. Absolutely criminal this film is not in 4K, because it's a beautiful looking movie in sort of Victorian London. It would look absolutely stunning. If you look at some of the other films that were sort of based around that time that have got 4K sort of transfers, they look absolutely amazing. And it's absolutely criminal that this one is just still on Blu-ray. And it's such a cool film, an amazing film, based on an interpretation of a graphic novel on Jack the Ripper. So it gives you a different sort of storyline of who they think Jack the Ripper was, and Johnny Depp plays a sort of detective along with Robbie Coltrane investigating the 5 women that were murdered by Jack the Ripper in 1888. So yeah, that would be fantastic if that got a 4K upgrade. Criminal it's not, really. Absolutely amazing film. This one, we're going back to Hammer for this one, and Taste the Blood of Dracula. It's probably one of my favourite Hammer films, but also I think it's such a gorgeous looking movie that if it was released in 4K, it would be absolutely stunning. It'd be really cool. Now, I know at the moment Hammer are actually producing some of their own movies into 4K. They seem to be doing some obscure films like the Four-Sided Triangle, and they released Captain Cronus, and they're doing 2 of the Quatermass films and stuff like that, and one called, I think it's called Shatter. It's just been released. But I'm just thinking, why are you not touching any of your classics? But there again, maybe they don't have the copyright. I know they were made by Hammer, but they might not own the copyright anymore to these films. I'm not sure. If people know that, you can let me know down below, which you will do anyway, because people love to criticise anyway. But anyway, I think that would look stunning on 4K, would be the Taste of Blood of Dracula. A haunting film now, a British movie with Rebecca Hall and Dominique West, and it's called The Awakening. One of my favourite haunting movies. I love the film. About I think it's I don't know if it's a boys' school, but it's a school where they think it's been haunted by an old pupil that died at the school, I believe, and it's like a ghost story based around, I think, just post World War. Comes with 2 discs, Blu-ray, DVD. This one. And it's like got that sort of 1940s feel to the film, although it's like a modern sort of film. She's like this woman that goes around to prove that these hauntings are all sort of fake and stuff like that. And she goes to this one and discovers it's not a fake haunting, and sort of like, and she sort of has a bit of a romance with the headmaster there, who's like a soldier that was injured in the war. It's a really cool, creepy, atmospheric film. This, to me, is a perfect October horror film to watch in the haunted month. It's got that sort of autumny feel to the film, and it's just a really cool sort of costume drama horror film. Fantastic. The Awakening needs a 4K release because it looks gorgeous, and it will look stunning in 4K. Now, this is just a personal one that I would love to see get a real good 4K upgrade. It's it's a serial killer film based on a true story of John Christie, and it's 10 Rillington Place, directed by Richard Attenborough, starring Richard Attenborough, stars John Hurt in the film. Really cool film, based on the true story of John Reginald Christie, who in during the wartime and post-war, killed women and buried them in his garden and in his house. He tricked them into, because they were poor sort of people, he tricked them into believing he was a doctor, and he ended up killing them and stuff like that. And a family he rented upstairs in his film, that family played by John Hurt and Judy Geeson, upstairs, and he does a botched abortion on her and kills her. He strangles her, and blamed John Hurt. And the police did a manhunt for John Hurt, found him, and they hung him. He got hanged. Miscarriage of justice, when in fact it was John Christie. And it never discovered until John Christie come to be captured, and he admitted to it and stuff like that. But before, they hung the wrong man for a murder that he never committed. He just went away to visit his family in Wales because of the loss of his family. And they thought, well, he's run away, but he hadn't. He'd just gone to visit the family, and he ended up getting caught and hung for something he never did. Yeah, so really cool film. Horrible story. One of my favourite serial killer films of all time, 10 Rillington Place. I must review this on my channel. Still haven't done it yet, but I will. Next up is my favourite vampire film from Sweden, and it's Let the Right One In. Gorgeous looking film with lots of darks and stark whites, because it's in the sort of winter time of the snowy Sweden, based on these vampire, hundreds of years old vampire girl still looks like a young girl, because obviously you retain your age, whatever you are, when you turn into a vampire. And so she's still a young girl in this, and she recruits the young lad, because the guy she's got is being useless. He's making mistakes all the time, because he's going out killing people, gaining blood for her to feed on, but he keeps messing up. And in the end, he knows he's come to his end, so he kills himself. And she's recruiting the young lad who's actually fallen in love with her. It's a very cool take on a vampire story. It's an amazing film with an amazing soundtrack, beautifully shot, and a very touching horror film. I think it's just like really sort of like the relationship bonding between those two is so quite sweet and quite you feel for the lad more than anything else, because he likes this girl because he's been bullied at school, and she stands up for him and stuff like that. And so he's taken to her, and although when he does find out he's a vampire, he still wants to stand by her side. So it's such a cool film. Let the Right One In. Really cool. Next up is, I don't think this is an Amicus film or nothing. No, I don't think it is. But it's a Vincent Price film called Theatre of Blood. It's a British horror film starring Vincent Price and Diana Rigg. And an array of cast of English actors, including Captain Mainwaring from Dad's Army. It's got an array of actors and stuff that you can probably recognise from that picture there. Yeah, they all star in this, and they're all film critiques or theatre critiques, shall I say. And Vincent Price is an actor who acts Shakespearean and Shakespeare plays, but they all give him bad reviews. And they think he's committed suicide and killed himself, but he's not. And he gets out with, he's got like a cult of actors that he's sort of like established in this old theatre, and they go out and revenge on these critiques, and they kill all these critiques on mannerisms from Shakespeare plays and films. It's not films, plays, sorry. And it's really, really cool. It's really gory. It's quite a gory film for its age, but it's an amazing story, and it looks wonderful. And having such a big cast, it deserves a 4K treatment, because I think if this was in 4K, it would look absolutely stunning. It's my favourite Vincent Price film. I need to do a Vincent Price week. I haven't really touched on him, but there is a couple of films of his I'm after. So I think until I've picked them up, I'm not going to do the week. I do have a load of his movies, Witchfinder General, this. I've got the Gothic movie set that he got released by Arrow, all Vincent Price films in it, 6 movies in it. So I've got a nice back catalogue of Vincent Price movies, but there's a couple that I really want in my collection before I start to sort of like do a Vincent Price week. But yeah, Theatre of Blood is definitely my favourite, and would be amazing if this got a 4K upgrade. So come on, Arrow, you know, pull your socks up and get it out on 4K. The next one doesn't even have a, these next two don't even have a Blu-ray release here in the UK, let alone 4K. But if these got picked up by someone like 88 Film or Second Sight or even Arrow pick these up, it'd be great to get these out on Blu-ray and 4K. And I would definitely pick up the 4K editions. First one is a Spanish horror film, although the title's misleading. The Living Dead at a Manchester Morgue. Okay, now this is filmed in the UK, in Britain, with British actors, but it is a Spanish film. And it's fantastic. It's gory as hell, isn't it? It's just as gory as Zombie Flesh Eaters and all these sort of like Italian, Spanish zombie films that came out. This is just as gory, and no one's ever picked it up. It's initially there on Anchor Bay, and I still have the Anchor Bay DVD, which I've had for years and years and years. And this is the only edition I've ever had. I believe it might have had a Blu-ray release in Europe, but it just hasn't picked it up here in the UK. I don't understand why. Why on earth isn't this out on Blu-ray or 4K? It's criminal, right? It's just a great classic horror film from the 70s. Very, very similar to Night of the Living Dead, but in colour and gory. It's just so cool. Love this film. Really brilliant film. In my top 10 of zombie films, 100%. Living Dead of Manchester Morgue needs a 4K release. And so does this other British film that came out a few years back. Only ever got a DVD release here in the UK, and it's fantastic. I'm surprised Umbrella haven't picked this up and released it on Blu-ray or anything, but it's The Ritual. Really cool film about these guys that go to, I think it's Sweden or something like that, on a hiking holiday. They've taken the ashes of their friend who gets killed at the beginning at a robbery at a supermarket, and they've taken his ashes there because they plan to go there on this hike and pay his respects. And they get lost in the woodlands there, and inside the woodlands there's like this witchcraft sort of cult living in there, and they sort of worship this tree monster, that creature that lives within the woods, and they start getting picked up one by this creature in the woods, and it's fantastic. The creature looks amazing. The film is stunning on DVD, so on 4K it would be absolutely incredible. So this would definitely be great to have a Blu-ray release and a 4K release of The Ritual. I would definitely pick that up if somebody picked this up. This is the sort of film I could see Second Sight picking up, and I'm just thinking, pick it up now. So The Ritual needs a 4K release here in the UK. Before I go any further, I'll let you know, guys, any of my American people like to watch my channel, this isn't based on America, okay? So yes, you might have 4K releases from Scream Factory or Vinegar Syndrome, things like that, but we don't have them over here. We don't get releases. We rarely get these horror films coming out here. We've only just got Friday the 13th Part 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street being released on 4K, let alone any of these. I mean, lately we're quite lucky because our imprint companies like 88 Film, Arrow have been releasing a lot of movies on 4K, which is really cool for me because a lot of them have been Argento films and things like that. But these sort of films just do not get picked up here, and it's criminal because they're amazing. Gonna jump back to Hammer for the ninth film, and it's the first colour horror film from Hammer, and it's The Curse of Frankenstein. Peter Cushing and obviously Christopher Lee as the monster. Again, this looks really nice on Blu-ray, but it would look stunning in 4K. It would be so cool. Like I said, Hammer have lately been releasing this is a 3-disc edition. It's got a Blu-ray and I think a couple of DVDs. The movie on the DVD and the special features. It needs a 4K release. It's fantastic to see Hammer releasing these 4Ks, but they seem to be ignoring the classics. But again, it could be down to copyright. This film is now owned by Icon, which I believe is owned by Lionsgate. So I think there might be some issues now over the ownership of the film. I don't know, but wouldn't it be fantastic if they release some of these classics in their 4K range? That would be great. Or if not, why don't Lionsgate put these out on 4K? But there we go. So the last one is the one that I said is real criminal. It's not had a 4K release. It's got a Blu-ray release, but this came out years ago on Blu-ray and it hasn't had a redoing or a re-looking at or anything. It's a set of trilogy of films by George Romero, and it's Day of the Dead. Why hasn't this got a 4K? It's absolutely criminal. You got Night of the Living Dead, but it's put out by Criterion, I believe. They've released the 4K. Second Sight have released the 4K of Dawn of the Dead with multiple versions of it, and we've still only got the Blu-ray of Day of the Dead. Again, American fans, if you viewers, not fans, sorry, if you've got it out there, you're lucky. We don't have it here in the UK. We just have this window edition of the film, which comes with like a graphic novel. It comes with 4 reversible sleeves. It comes with a poster and the film in Blu-ray and DVD. Yeah, it doesn't come with 4K, and it's absolutely criminal this film is not on 4K. Can't believe it, to be honest. It's my favourite zombie film of all time, and that's probably why I'm upset about it, because it is my favourite zombie film out of all zombie movies. I know most people go with zombie flesh eaters, but I'm not most people, so I go with Day of the Dead. That is my favourite zombie film of all time, and it needs a 4K restoration. Amazing film. So there we go. 10 films that I believe would benefit from a 4K release. Cheers, guys.